so we're going to talk about that now.
Oh, right. Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah. Not too long ago, did you?
Nah, it was, yeah.
So I guess the Anaheim business owners have some issues with the new Disneyland Bridge. I really didn't read too much about it. I know Anthony did.
Well, I know one thing I saw, a couple things of note, was that they were supposed to be having a meeting on January 23rd to vote on the bridge, the committee or whatever that has to do with that. They were supposed to meet on the 23rd, and somehow the people that are against it got the vote delayed to an undisclosed date. So
not an undisclosed location.
No.
Okay.
Well, it might be. I don't know. Oh, Michael's house?
The Rebel Base.
Oh, at the Rebel Base.
In nudity.
I don't know, but yeah, so that's been definitely pushed back to an undisclosed date. So obviously, any delays is going to cause delays. So that's been pushed back, and then I know they had some. Basically their issue is that they think that the bridge, which is going to go across. Hopefully, you guys all remember we talked about the bridge, how it's going to go across Harbor Boulevard, and it's going to go in between hotels and businesses, and then go back to. It's going to go connect to the Eastern Gateway, where the new security will be on the eastern side whenever they get around to that, and then the new parking structure that's going to be on the east side. Now, these people are complaining that exactly what I predicted they would complain about. If you guys go back and listen to the episode when we first talked about the bridge, these people are complaining that the bridge is going to direct people away from their businesses. Now, I'll get to another issue with that statement in a minute, but first I just want to say that they're only really half right, because if they are going to make people go all the way down to, what street is that? The street that Pumbaa is on.
Pumbaa Street.
The street that we come down on the bus.
Disney Way?
Disney Way.
What you call me?
Way. Now, because we talked about that, that seems dumb that if they would make them go all the way down to... Why do I sound echoey every time I get too close? You don't have anything? You put all the things...
All the echoes are off.
All the echoes are off?
Yeah. See, this is down.
Okay, it must be because we're in echo base.
Waka waka waka.
But we said that whether they were going to make everybody walk all the way down to Disney Way, who are all on those hotels that are on, and stuff that are on Harbor, north of Disney Way, or are they going to make all those people walk down to Disney Way and then go over to where the main entrance for the parking structure, the main vehicle and pedestrian entrance is going to be on Disney Way,
which is right across the street from Garden Walk.
Yes.
So people can get an understanding of where we're at.
Right. Yeah, it's right across from what would be basically the backside of Garden Walk, which I assume once that opens, they're going to want to have an opening to Garden Walk there, so people can freely move from Garden Walk to the entrance to Disneyland as well. Now, if that is the case, and these people, and that's what ends up happening, and they don't have some sort of back access for hotel, then what they're saying is only actually half right. Because everybody that would be north of the bridge would have to walk all the way down, and any businesses that are between the hotel and Disney Way would benefit actually from those people walking that way. Now, the ones south of the bridge or closer to Disney Way, they're not going to benefit as much. But I still think it's a really dumb point, because people are still going to be walking on Harbor. People are going to have to walk on Harbor one way or another. It's still a major thoroughfare. I mean, it obviously seems from the concept drawings that have been released recently that they're not going to do the thing like I was talking about, how they do the thing with the escalators connecting with the bridge like they do in Vegas.
Yeah.
They're obviously not going to be doing something like that. I still think that would be a good idea, and instead of having the security where it is, still have the security on the Disney side of the bridge, because then they could have the connector. You could have the connector to the parking structure and have the escalators going up or something there at Harbor, but obviously for some reason they want to have the security on the other side. And if they keep saying that they're not going to use that space where the trams are now for expansion to DCA, then they're obviously lying, because why else put the security checkpoint on the other side of Harbor if you don't have any intention of using that area on the Disney side of Harbor for something big, right? I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Then there was a point which I really think is stupid. They think that because of where the security is, that it's going to cause the less security for their businesses. It doesn't even. How would it even affect?
I don't get that, because I was reading that right now, and
how would that even affect them?
I don't know.
That has nothing to do with them. The fact that their Disneyland's security barrier is behind them, it doesn't even affect that. That was just them throwing something out there.
Yeah.
They're really stupid. I don't know. What do you have to add on that before I get to my ultimate point? Or both of you guys have add your input, and then we'll get to my ultimate point at the end. Because I'm sure you guys agree with. I know you guys agree with my ultimate point.
As far as the businesses go, it might affect them depending how easy is it to access the businesses once coming over from Disney. I mean, like, okay, the point I have is we don't like to go to downtown Disney because of security. We would have to leave the park, go out of the secured area where we already been checked to go to downtown Disney, and then we have to come back and be screened, and that's the reason why we hardly go to downtown Disney right now. Now, as soon as this new parking or the new security checkpoints open,
Earl of Sandwich and quesadillas for everybody.
Exactly. I will be happy to leave Disney and go to downtown Disney and have fun down there for the night or eat.
Still no whitewater snacks, though.
Well, I'm not worried about that, but that's one of the reasons why we don't leave the parks right now. It's because we don't want to have the hassle of coming back with security.
Exactly.
So is that going to be the same when you leave the parks and go over to the harbor area where a lot of people do? I know Michael leaves and goes to McDonald's a lot.
No budget I am.
And, I mean, is it going to be easy to go over the bridge and leave, or is it going to be a big old maze to get through, and like you said, go through, this side over here by Disney Way, or is there going to be another access point? And if it's going to be difficult to go, then people are not going to want to do that, and they'll just stay in the parks or go to downtown Disney
and spend that money.
Yeah,
which is partially what Disney probably wants them
I'm sure
to
they
do.
But I'm just saying, as far as the businesses are concerned, they might have a big concern there, because that might happen. If it's going to be a hassle to go through this and leave the Disney area, including the new parking structure, then people are not going to do that, and no one's going to go to McDonald's, no one's going to go to Mimi's Cafe, no one's going to go to Captain Kidd's, because it's going to be too difficult to get out. So that's...
And I'm going to have to agree, because sometimes when I'm actually really want to go to McDonald's because I'm broke, and
get that kids meal.
Yeah, you know what I mean, or just a 2 for $5 right now, pretty bomb. 2 Big Macs, Big Mac filet fish, Big Mac nuggets. You know what I mean, and then you ask for a water and get soda. You're all ready to go. But I mean, to look at the savings and look at the Disney fee you're gonna add, walking over there and walking back. You know what I mean, just in general, without that is a hassle. So I can imagine, obviously we see, or if you read it, they're fighting. McDonald's owners don't want it. They want to make a path on that side, cutting to the parking lot, and obviously they don't want that. They want to cut that traffic. But if they say that they don't do nothing at all, and I have to walk all the way down to the end of the street of Disney Way, and walk all the way back to McDonald's, screw that. I'm going to go get some cheap chili cheese fries for $5. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I'm gonna have to just do something low budget, because. Or just bring my own food, to be honest. I mean, and that's pretty much what I can do. I mean, a small cooler, some ice, and I'm gravy. But it's a hassle.
Get that little cooler or whatever, and then pack some of those Uncrustable PB&Js.
Yes.
Hell yeah. That's the way to go.
All right. If not, you know what? We're going to have to go old school, Anthony. We're going to have ice chest in our car. As soon as we're done, we go take the tram or whatever, bus back, tailgate.
I don't know what's old school for you, because old school for us is jumping in the car right outside of main gate and going to either Del Taco over by the 5 going to Flaky Jake's,
Ooh.
going to Wiener Schnitzel over on Ball.
Ooh.
That's old school for me and him.
Yes, Ball and Euclid.
Ball and Euclid.
No invite now.
One of the teepee, the old school teepee looking Wiener Schnitzels.
And that's another thing, you know.
Oh, I
We don't
remember
do that
those.
anymore.
We
don't leave
can't.
the park. Yeah, we can't leave.
We
the
can't.
because it's more of time. It takes a lot of time to go, get out of the parks, go to the buzz, and then leave the parking lot and blah 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 blah. Compared to the way it was back in the day, you know, we parked right. We have preferred parking. We park right in front. We leave. We go down, do our eating.
We walk out the main gate. We're in the car and getting out of the parking lot in 5 minutes.
Exactly. So yeah, we don't.
Now it takes 5 minutes just to get to the tram.
Yeah, so we don't. Even,
5 minutes?
Well, because you've seen us walk.
That's why I said 5? Not
Elephants on parade over here.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a little. I think it's gonna be a hassle trying to leave the parks.
I think I think that we haven't seen their full plan. I think they're showing the Anaheim City Council or whatever what they need to show them right now. And now that they have all these businesses complaining, they're gonna have to pull out the full schematics.
Yeah.
I think that's because what we've seen is just some concept drawings, some rudimentary stuff that just for that, but we haven't seen all of the full stuff. So I think that there's got to be they got to make concessions for some of those things. But I mean, in the long run, can I go now, or are you guys done?
You can go.
In the long run, these businesses owe their lives to Disneyland. These businesses would not exist if it was not for Disneyland. These people should be kissing Disneyland's proverbial booty holes.
Yeah.
And not booty O's. Not booty O's. This is not the New Day. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm talking about they need to shut their proverbial booty holes because you know what? They owe their lives to Disneyland. Those hotels would not exist.
No.
Captain Kidd's would not exist. Denny's would not be where it is. IHOP would not be where it is. None of those places would be where they are if it wasn't for Disneyland.
There wouldn't be 2 IHOPs and 2 Denny's within a mile of each other.
Exactly. Those people owe their lives to Disneyland. They should just shut up because they think they're getting a gravy train now with how busy it's been since the 60th started. I was just talking to Rebecca yesterday because we were walking through Universal. I could stick my elbows out. I could stretch, and I didn't have to worry about a freaking stroller running into my ass.
That's what I said. You could stop and
nobody's gonna run into me. And I said, and I turned to her and I said, you know what? I miss this. I miss this. I miss the room, and you know what? The room that we don't have, that's money that those businesses are getting ever since the 60th started. And you know what? I told her, I'm like, I predict that we will get back to that nice time that we had before the 60th started. I predict that we will get back to that briefly, maybe in the spring or the winter before Star Wars Land opens. It'll be so far removed from the 60th and stuff not going on. But then who knows, when all the stuff reopens next summer, it might just re-jump that. So who knows? We may never. I told her, I think Disneyland, I mean, it's a little off topic, but it's not. I think there's no such thing as off-season anymore.
Oh, I agree with that.
I think we experienced Disneyland's last ever off-season in spring of last year.
Yes.
I think there's no more off-season.
Nope.
Because, like I said, we have a small window just before, in the winter and spring, just before Star Wars Land opens, where we might see another small little off-season.
If they don't keep rolling stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If that, but the off season that we remember is done. There's no more. And you know what? That nothing but benefits all those businesses on Harbor, whether they have direct access to the park or not. Those businesses on Harbor have nothing to gain by what is to come for Disneyland, whether it's hotel expansions, whether it's downtown Disney expansions, whether it's a brand new parking structure over on that side that's going to bring thousands of cars closer to those businesses than has ever been before. Are they not considering how many freaking cars they're going to have within a vicinity? How many of those people are going to be like, oh, I'm hungry, let's go eat before we go into the park? But we have to walk around a little bit, that's fine, we're hungry. They're still going to go over and eat. Those people are still going to go to Disney or go to Denny's and IHOP after the park closes.
Cast members.
Cast members too. It doesn't matter what the bridge does. Those businesses around Disneyland have nothing to gain by everything that Disneyland has planned, and they just need to shut their mouths and relax.
And their family generations are set for a good, cool minute.
Exactly. As long as those businesses don't sell, then they are set because Disneyland ain't going nowhere.
And then you got to realize the guests that are staying in those hotels who are not actually at the park at that time and want to go grab something to eat. Denny's is right there.
Yeah.
IHOP is right there. There's a new pizza place that opened over there.
And you're telling me that between all of those hotels feeding those food places, that those food places aren't making money? Bullcrap.
The Star Burger.
Yeah.
Haven't been there in a cool minute.
Grubhub, I picked up an order from that. In fact, the order that went to the Crystal Cathedral was from that Mediterranean place right by Star Burger.
Oh, cool.
I know, but that teriyaki spot right there, bomb. Bomb. $10, but bomb.
So, I mean, I can understand that there's not going to be, probably going to be a hectic for the guests who are at the parks to get over there and eat, but still, there's a hotel guests who are not in the park that day and still will be going somewhere close to where they're at.
And that's not even factoring in the hotels on that side of the street that are yet to come. Because how many hotels are planned for that side of the street still?
2? Wait, well, you have...
And that's what, 400 room hotels?
Yeah, well, there's one's on Catella across the street from Disney.
Right.
And then the other ones were the Anaheim, in wherever we stayed at that day. When we recorded the podcast,
Oh, right.
that one's going to be torn down and built to a new hotel. So,
Right.
Plus Disney's 5-star.
yeah, Disney News, their new hotel.
I mean, they're
Exactly.
going to be broke paying to get in there, man. You're going to go walk down to Denny's.
Exactly. That's what I mean. These people have nothing to complain about. They should be paying Disney for the right to be right there.
A tax, a Disney tax.
You know how businesses, how much is the, I don't even know what it is anymore. How much does the average Super Bowl commercial cost?
Oh, isn't like $3 million now? Maybe $4 million
Yeah,
now?
these companies are paying $3 million so people can see 2 minutes, a minute to 2 minutes of
Most of it's
their
30 seconds.
30 seconds to whatever of their product on the Super Bowl. These businesses should be paying Disney for the fact that Disneyland is just right there. Otherwise, you know what? Hey, try going and making that kind of money over by Knott's.
You can take it to Magic, dude. They'll sell their promotion on the rides.
Why do you think? Why do you think? I mean, has anybody ever paid attention how many hotels are around Knott's? How much stuff is around Knott's? It's nothing like Disneyland. There's the one hotel that's on the Knott's property.
The main one.
The one.
Knott's Berry Farm Hotel. now.
Yeah, the one. Oh, is that what it's called now? The one at the south
Knott's
end
Berry
of.
Farm Hotel.
Yeah, the one at the
I
south
believe it
end.
used to be Radisson.
Yes, it did. It was Radisson when I worked there.
Yeah.